And welcome everybody to the first episode of PandaWatch in the year of 2016 of our Lord. Isn't that right, Kevin?
Absolutely.
As always, I'm Steven Zebrak
It's your
with,
boy Kev Mile. What's up? What's up?
hey man, I'm just coming off a good long holiday break. That's what's up.
Gosh, when was the last time we recorded?
We recorded probably 2 weeks and a day ago. December 22nd was our last recording.
Mm,
And then we sent that great Facebook blast out to everyone, letting them know we exist. So this
yeah,
is our
we're like
first recording after we're famous.
we're like mad famous now. It's don't let
Yeah.
that shit go to your head. But I am really. I've already maxed out all my credit cards.
Oh, I already bought a fur coat.
Absolutely.
So the Burlington Coat Factory.
Nice.
So, anyways, what you do? I know we hung out a bunch over the break, but what did you do for New Year's?
Oh man, you know me, Grandpa Kev. I tried to keep it nice and low key. So the missus and a couple of our other friends, we got a nice little ski getaway to Wintergreen, and it was so hot that we did no skiing, so it was perfect. But
All
we
right.
but we did have a nice little cabin in the woods with the with several Confederate flags and a hot tub. So I guess the trade-off is a hot tub for six Confederate flags.
Yeah, is that the ratio you usually go for if you're staying at a house? It's got to be.
I
What's the
mean,
what's the maximum you would take for a hot tub?
for a hot tub, maximum is. I mean, obviously six was the number this time. I would go 10. I start to get like really nervous. I'm like, I don't know, because that means like they're really out here in numbers.
Yeah.
Once you get to double digits, like that's not a fair fight anymore.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Yeah.
I think 10's an appropriate number. Saying this
Word.
is a white guy. So,
Word. How was New Year's for you?
it was good. It was good. I hung out around the Lower East Side of Manhattan. Of course, everyone from out of town was like, "Oh, did you go to Times Square?" And that's how they asked the question. And of course I didn't. I mean, why would I want to wait in that huge crowd where you can't use the bathroom, where even Olive Garden was charging $400 a head?
The Olive Garden?
The Olive Garden was charging $400 a head.
What, just to get into the restaurant, or am I getting food?
I think you're getting everything. You're getting food, you're getting drinks. I think because the Olive Garden is in Times Square, so you're getting a prime location base for New Year's celebrations.
Does the Olive Garden have like those big glass windows where they can look out?
I think so. To be honest, I avoid Times Square like the plague. So I don't know what the Olive Garden looks like and what their setup is, but their main selling point was like, hey, you can use our bathroom for that $400. So
Oh, that sounds awesome.
plus you get unlimited salad and breadsticks.
If I did not get unlimited salad and breadsticks for $400, I would I wouldn't do anything crazy like take over a federal building, but I would do something. I would be upset.
Oh yeah.
We'll get to that in a minute.
Yeah, but no, I stay on the Lower East Side. It was supposed to be like a low key night, but of course that ended up in little drunken debauchery. But
Uh, I never hurt anybody.
yeah,
Did you go out solo? Did you go with friends? What was going on?
I went with Katarina and Katie.
The dynamic duo.
Yeah, we had a good time.
Word.
But
Um,
anyways,
real quick.
yeah.
One thing that happened in the rural mountains. We were actually in Lyndhurst, Virginia, which is kind of near um, Lynchburg and Roanoke area. But so the house is like in the woods, and my girlfriend and I are staying downstairs in the basement. We have our own like little living room and a bathroom. In the bathroom is a painting of a 5-year-old girl with a bow tie, and she's like staring at you, and she's over the girl's picture is over the toilet. So imagine a 5-year-old girl in a picture. I have to make sure it's in the picture so nobody thinks it's really weird. Staring at you while you're peeing, or if you're a young lady, she's like looking at the back of your head. Meanwhile, the living room that we're staying in is like right next to the bathroom. The steps that come down into the living room, but we're laying on a pull-out couch. Leah wakes up in the middle of the night and she swears that she hears what sounds like a 5-year-old child humming.
Really?
3 a.m. in the morning. So needless to say, Leah did not go back to sleep at all that evening. Meanwhile, your boy was snoring his face off.
Oh, of course you were.
But Leah woke me up the next morning and was like, I heard somebody humming. And where we were at, we had a dog with us. But the owners of the dog were saying, nope, the dog was upstairs.
Yeah, I don't know what to tell you.
How paranormal activity is that?
I don't know, but sometimes, after drinking, I hear some stuff in my sleep that didn't exist. So
It is true.
I don't know what to tell you.
We called her, I dubbed her Little Debbie.
Little Debbie,
Little
okay.
Debbie. And I will post a picture of Little Debbie to the PandaWatch fan page because she's creepy.
All right, yeah. Next time I hang out with you and Leah, I'll have to put her image on a T-shirt.
Yeah,
And
I'm sure she would love that.
Anyways,
Anyway,
Kevin, man, we got a special guest for our first episode back of the new year.
look,
You want to tell the folks about our guest?
we wanted to start the new year off the right way by taking PandaWatch to the next level by incorporating some interviews with some people, great human beings that we know or may not know, doing big things, nationwide, worldwide soon. And so it's NFL wildcard weekend, and somehow, some way, the football team from DC has made it in there. And without further ado, I'd like to introduce my homie, Mr. Treese Money.
What's up? What's up, y'all? It's Treese Money.
Treese Money, a local kid, rapper, entrepreneur from this area, who also a CPA.
Can't forget that.
Can't
Yeah.
forget that. Who
He does live in the suburbs. He's got to be a CPA.
he's got to. But Patrick made an instrumental to that, I guess, world famous Kirk Cousins quote, "You like that," going around these days. Tell the folks out there, what was the inspiration behind that?
Well, just being a fan of the greatest sports team in the history of sports, you get inspired a lot when
That's arbitrary, by the way.
it's the first winning season. It's barely winning, but it's the first winning season in a couple of years. So I don't know. It's been rough, and it's been, for the first time in a long time, exciting to watch the Redskins this year. And that game, when Kirk Cousins first said he liked that, was one of the most amazing things I had ever seen. Being a Redskins fan, being 30 years old, seeing a comeback from 24 points down when you think the season's about to take the turn, how it always does, then all of a sudden we come back and win this game, and sure enough, it leads to this point where we're hosting a wild card game somehow. So it was around, I think it was a few days before Christmas, and I can't even remember which game it was. It must have been right after the Bears game.
Yeah.
And I just got the idea thinking, no one's done this. So I Google searched to seeing if, you like that remix beat, whatever it was, and I couldn't really find anything. So for some reason, it was something I felt compelled to do for the reason of thinking it's a cool thing that's going on with the Redskins and Kirk Cousins, and also to, maybe plug myself in with some new viewers, if you will.
Absolutely.
So I just came home from work one day, and a couple guys, Kev, A-Train, and Smurv, and Frank, and some of those dudes just came over, and we really just hung out in the studio for like 4 hours, drinking and banging around with the keyboard, and came up with this beat and started mixing in the clips of him, and Chris Baker's in there, and then there's a couple announcers. So it just all came together really in one night, just from the idea of doing it and thinking, hey, maybe this could go somewhere,
That's dope.
Yeah, that's pretty cool, man.
So the instrumental, it got picked up by Redskins.com?
Yes. So I guess it's some sort of blog page, but off of Redskins.com. I'm not sure exactly how to navigate from there, from just the homepage, but I actually didn't even know about it. It was on Christmas Eve, which was the day after, we had made the beat and been hanging out. And Smurbeck sent me a text because I actually got Chris Baker had responded to me on Twitter, so I was kind of sending it out to the people that were with me, saying, look, we're getting some attention. This is pretty cool.
So you actually got one of the Washington players to reach out.
Yeah, I tweeted it at a few people. The 23rd, which was the night I put it on YouTube and SoundCloud and all that stuff, and I tweeted it at Kirk Cousins and some people. Wasn't really getting much attention or any looks, and for some reason I was driving back to my house on New Year's Eve in the morning, and I said to myself, I need to send this to Chris Baker. Chris Baker will understand what this is all about. For some reason,
the kid's name, from not liking the Washington Redskins, a name like Swaggy would make you believe that.
Exactly. That might have had something to do with it. But because I also use his voice, so it's pretty much him and Kirk Cousins. So I said, I think he'll like that. I think he might be into this. So tweeted it at him. Then, we have a rather big family over here, so we're running around all Christmas Eve. And I went and checked it later that night, and I saw he had retweeted and, tried to tweet the link back at Kirk Cousins and all that stuff. So I thought that was pretty cool. But either way, that's what I was sharing with my friends, and then I wound up getting the text back with a link to the article, which was pretty hilarious because they start going into some of the stuff that we were joking about the night before in the article, like the Cousins, and all this stuttering, because we were laughing our asses off. The next day, we got hammered, and then the next day we're like texting each other like, that's stuck in my head, and it was stuck in our head all day. So it was just funny they decided to write about that in some sort of piece on the blog.
Word. That's what's up, man.
Yeah, so it was pretty cool, and it's it's still getting a good amount of attention each day.
What'd you name the instrumental?
I just called it the You Like That remix. I didn't really know what to call it. The You Like That anthem came to mind. You Like That song, but I thought the You Like That remix kind of had more of an appeal, even though it's not really a remix of anything other than him just saying it.
Word.
What about You Like That sonnet? Or You Like That ballad?
That actually would have been the better thing to do. I wish I had consulted you now, because that's just got a whole new level of entertainment to it.
So now we know that you like that, the remix, the ballad, or the sonnet, and you like the Redskins.
Yes.
What do you got for a prediction on Sunday prime time?
I'm so used to trying to be conservative with this type of stuff because I don't want to eat my words later, but I legitimately think we will win by more than one score on Sunday.
Wow.
Ooh.
And I hope you got, because I'm going to the game with all my brothers and my mom, so we'll be there live in action.
Word.
Yeah, you guys definitely caught a break getting the Packers instead of the Seahawks. I'll say that.
Yeah, I tell you what, if there is one team that I wouldn't, if I could pick one team to just get out of the way and not play in the playoffs, it would probably be the Seahawks right now. So I completely agree. And, Green Bay's a good team, but they've got some injuries, and we're hot and they're not. So I think, it could be a good game, but I think we could definitely pull it off.
What do you think about you guys being hot, but the Packers having more playoff experience or more recent playoff experience?
Very true, but who really on that team has more playoff experience that's actually going to be starting on Sunday? There's a lot of guys that don't. You know what I mean?
That's fair.
One guy, number 12, he's got a lot of experience.
Well, I'll tell you what, I really like him, and I think he's a great guy, and I think he's a great player, but I do have a personal vendetta from him failing my fantasy team in the final week, so, I'm not on that bandwagon anymore. I was for a while, but this is how I got to get some salvage and save face somehow here with a Redskins victory.
Word. Well, drop that plug one more time for everything, so so the people out there can listen to it, find the instrumental.
So it's Treese Money is the name. www.houseofsyntax.com is the website. You Like That Remix is the name of the song. If you go into YouTube, type in You Like That Remix, you'll get it first thing that pops up.
All right, man. We'll make sure to post a link, too, on our Facebook page so people can follow.
Absolutely.
Thanks, yo. Thanks for being the first interview of 2016.
Oh, yeah. Don't forget Jay. Jay will get pissed off.
No, I'm just saying of 2016. I had to make sure.
Yeah.
It's a new year, baby. Fresh start.
Word.
Agreed. Thanks for coming on, Patrick.
All right, guys. Thanks. See ya.
Yep. All right, now moving on to the rest of the NFL playoffs. We got Patrick's prediction that the Redskins will win by more than one score.
Patrick's
over the
my
Packers.
homie, and he's my homie. The Packers gonna beat them by more than one score.
Yeah, I think the Packers take the game, but the Redskins have a better chance than they would have if they would have drawn Seattle.
That's fair.
So they got I wouldn't say lucky. They got a good draw in that regards, but I still think the Packers are better. But I mean, who knows what will happen?
And the other Sunday game that's the big one.
Yeah, that's Seattle, Arizona. That should be a really good game.
No, man.
No, sorry, not Seattle, Arizona.
Sorry, guys.
Seattle,
Steelers are
Minnesota.
drinking.
Seattle, Minnesota.
Yeah. It's supposed to be the coldest game in playoff history?
Is it really?
Yeah, it's something silly.
Yeah, I bet Minnesota's wishing they had that dome, but until next year.
Oh, well, we'll see if those Seahawks from Seattle with no 12th man can travel and play in the cold.
Yeah, that'll be tough, especially since they're relying on Russell Wilson so much. They're not. I mean, they say that Lynch might be ready for the game, but I mean they're relying on the passing game, so the cold weather may have a big effect on that.
That may be true, but like you alluded to, the man of a lot of words is on his way back. I'm pretty sure he's going to play. I mean, that was probably strategic for them to have that surgery when they did.
Right.
Couldn't predict that they would turn it around like they did, because it looks like at one point it looked like they weren't going to make the playoffs.
Oh, very true.
But now you get beast mode back, and this guy Russell Wilson has been going bonkers for the past month and a half.
Yeah, for the past 6-7 games, he's been going nuts.
He's throwing like 3 touchdowns every game at least.
Yeah, he's been doing ridiculous stuff. So.
Saturday.
Saturday games, and also Saturday's the big event, the
plug.
4th annual. My team is not in the playoffs bar crawl.
Woo!
And we're hoping to.
You like that?
Yeah, I do like that. We're hoping to get triple digits this year. I think we hit triple digits last year, but a lot of people are saying I was seeing things. But hoping to get triple digits again this year in terms of attendance.
Yeah. I mean, it's going to be a fun time. It always is.
Yeah. So the first game Saturday is Kansas City and Houston. Games at Houston because they won that other putrid division.
Take it easy, man. Yo, your Giants, just like my Colts, are not in the playoffs.
Oh, I know, but the whole spirit of the bar crawl is to shit on other teams.
Yeah,
so.
Well then, make sure you pass that shit along to your team as well.
Anyways, I think Kansas City will win that game. That's my prediction. I don't know if you got one.
I do have one. I mean, I feel like Andy Reid is due because, I mean, my Colts last year pretty much shocked the world. That was 2 years ago. Sorry, 2 years ago. Yeah. So but that was the last time they were in the playoffs.
Yeah.
And they've got a sour taste from blowing that historic lead in that fashion. So, and I can't stand the Texans. I think they were atrocious. It was kind of embarrassing that the Colts lost to them twice after, running away with the division for the amount of years that they have. Give me the Chiefs. Andy Reid's hot right now. The Kool-Aid man.
Yeah, and the Chiefs are just playing. I mean, the Chiefs have won 10 in a row. They're playing great football.
That is true.
Next game after that is Steelers and Bengals, which will be a great game too.
Oh yeah.
I don't know who I have in this one. I think the Bengals are hurt because they don't have that first round bye. So, do you rush Dalton back? Do you try to get him in there, or
do you trust A.J. McCarron?
I mean, Pittsburgh doesn't have the greatest defense, but this is the playoffs, and the Steelers usually bring it for the playoffs.
Yeah, even if the Steelers can't play defense, they've been scoring points like it's their job.
Oh, right, but
So A.J. McCarron's going to have to get into a shootout, something that, I mean, shout out to Alabama. he couldn't do that. I mean, like, he was scoring 45 points in Alabama, but those are all running plays.
Yeah, I think you need Dalton for this game. Really think you do. So we'll see where he's at. I mean, I haven't heard anything on his status, but
Yeah, well, give me the Steelers, and it pains me to say that, but yeah, give me the Steelers.
I'm gonna go with the Bengals just because I want to see our boy Matt Walker in misery Saturday night, because that's the spirit of the bar crawl.
Absolutely. I mean, I want everybody to be as miserable as us as well. If my team ain't in the playoffs, yours damn sure shouldn't go far.
Yeah, so I'm going for the Bengals just for that reason.
As a caveat to that AFC North thing, what's going on with the legend that is happening in Cleveland? Their quarterback might be my new favorite player.
Oh man, Johnny Football, he's great.
Dude,
you gotta love him.
For people out there who don't know, apparently Johnny Manziel was supposed to be in concussion protocol after the season, or before the season was over. Sorry.
Right.
And he didn't show up to the protocol. And go ahead.
Sorry, he had a 9 a.m. meeting that Sunday with the doctors, and he did not show up. And there are various reports of him.
And pictures.
And, well, I don't know if we have pictures, because you can't anyways, there are various reports of him in Vegas, both playing blackjack and at the club.
Wait a minute. What were you about to say? You can't take pictures?
You can't take pictures in the casino at the tables. You can't have your phone out when you're sitting at the table.
He's not at a table.
We was playing blackjack.
In what picture are you talking about?
I'm talking about in general. You can't take pictures on the casino floor in the tables.
Yes. Sorry. We understand that. The picture in question is not him playing blackjack.
Yeah, that picture you showed me I think is photoshopped, but
Are you sure?
I'm not sure. That's why I said I think.
I think. Yo, it's him, the DJ Diplo, who is like having the time of his life, and Johnny Manziel with a Hulk Hogan mustache and blonde wig and shades. You know, the same image that is plastered all over that T-shirt that's going around Cleveland?
Yeah. And silence your phone, man.
Oh, kiss my ass. Pacers won, just in case anybody wanted to know.
Nobody wanted to know.
I did. But yeah, Johnny Football, man, I think he's getting a raw deal, yo. I don't understand why he can't just have the time of his life.
Because, man, just wait a week. Just wait a week, then do it. Why is he do it during the season and when he's supposed to go through concussion protocol?
I would have waited a week. But clearly Johnny lives by a different set of laws, man. He's Johnny Football. He's not Johnny follow the rules.
Yeah, apparently the name he was using too was Billy. Like
Billy.
He went on a stretch there.
Yeah. Billy.
Like, I'm Billy.
I mean, he couldn't have been, my name is like Jaquez. I'm Jaquez Rogers.
Yeah, he could have pretended to be European or something. I mean, he guess.
Yeah, Jacques Cousteau.
But anyways, man, we got love from Manziel. We want him to stay in the league because he's doing some great stuff off the field.
Plus, we have a lot of material if he stays in the league. So
yeah,
get well soon, Johnny. We miss you.
Yeah. Before we move on from football, just wanted to say I've really enjoyed the last 12 years.
Oh man, you about to get sentimental?
Coughlin.
Hold on. Where's the violin?
TC, man, he was a great coach. And, it's just time to part ways. But you got to have respect for the guy who's won 2 Super Bowls in his 12-year tenure. So, thank you, TC. Thanks for the memories. We love you.
We love you.
We love him.
I respect Mr. Coughlin. He's old school. This is the way it's going to be. Very disciplined, very attention to detail oriented. And like you said, he got the results. It'd be different if he was a disciplinarian and his teams kept losing, even though they started to flounder towards the end, which is But 2 Super Bowls, man. What else you want?
Exactly. Plus, he was a special teams coach on the 1990 Super Bowl run with Parcells. So
he was responsible for the Jaguars when they were the expansion team.
Yeah, he took them to the AFC Championship game like the first or second year of their existence.
Don't sleep on that team. That team was deep. Mark
Yeah.
Brunell, Jimmy Smith,
Fred Taylor.
Fred Taylor,
Yeah, they
Keenan
had a squad.
McCardell, Tony Baselli, the number 1 overall draft in the expansion draft.
Yeah, they had a squad with them.
They could ball.
Yeah.
Get your old ass out of here, Tom Coughlin.
Yeah, we love you. We at PandaWatch love you.
We do, man.
Anyway, moving on from one playoffs to the other, and all the other ball games, the college football playoffs. Now, before we get into the specific playoff matchups, I haven't seen a ball game that's been close. Every game I'm watching is a blowout. I don't know what gives, but
Are you talking the major games, or are you talking like the pre-New Year's Day games?
I'm talking like the major games, like the semifinal games, the New Year's Day games, and there's a couple like on Saturday, the 2nd, that weren't close. Like
that Michigan State game, Alabama.
Yeah, that was a blowout.
That one hurt.
The Clemson Oklahoma game, that one was close at halftime, then Clemson just blew them out. Then we had the Rose Bowl, Stanford, first play of the game, Christian McCaffrey, 80-yard, I think 75-yard touchdown pass, out of the backfield, just as a quick slant, and he's out. That game was great though, because one of my favorite people, Carly Fiorina.
Yeah,
Fiorina, whatever her name is. She was a Stanford alum, but she's, the Iowa caucus is happening real soon. So she goes, much love from my alma mater, but I got to go with Iowa today. Because she thought that would help her get votes, I guess. I mean, just made her look like an idiot. And then Iowa got scorched. So couldn't have happened to a better person.
Yeah. What if the Iowa Hawkeye fans were like, "Hey, Carly, you just put some bad juju on us." But it looks like that kid McCaffrey is going to go bonkers against whoever he played anyway. So
yeah, and I always said this. I thought Iowa had a soft schedule to begin with.
Whoa. I mean, what else you want them to do? They play the teams in front of them. They do schedule.
I'm not blaming them. They still won 12 games. I'm just saying during the regular season they didn't play Michigan State, Michigan, or Ohio State. And then when they played Michigan State in the championship game, they lost. I'm just saying they didn't have the strongest schedule. I'm not blaming them. It's not their fault.
Kind of sounds like what could potentially be the Redskins' fate as well.
They very well could be. Very well could be. But anyways, championship matchup is set.
What was that, Monday?
Alabama and Monday night, yeah, the 11th. Monday night, Clemson, Alabama, and you know me, I'm going Alabama all the way.
Of course you are. SEC bias. That's cool. Real
well,
quick.
It's not even that. I hate Clemson too. So.
That's too. True that. Real quick. Before the national championship game, there's going to be a live tailgate with somebody named Eric Church. Who is that?
I don't know. This is the first I'm hearing of it.
Oh, okay. Y'all ain't got cable up there in New York?
I cut the cable cord, man. It's all Hulu,
right.
Netflix, and streaming.
Well, be glad that you don't have to see ESPN running these tailgate things for some country star. And we all love country. At PandaWatch, we love country music, all right?
Oh, yes, we do. Yes,
PandaWatch,
we do.
I mean, we get down to some country music. Trace Atkins, Steven, help me out.
Cowboy Troy.
Cowboy Troy, yeah. Do you want another zang in your zang zang? We'll never get old.
No.
The game is in Arizona, ain't it?
Yeah, I can't remember where it is. Yeah.
Gosh, we just got a country music star here. Talk about killing the vibe.
Yeah, but those are the Southern teams. They're trying to hype them up with some country.
That is true. Give me Clemson. They finally break through, and then they get that whatever monkey's been on their back, because they've been some underachievers over the last years when they've been ranked pretty high.
Yeah, but they haven't been this close to a championship. But they've been up there. They've been in a weak conference and towards the top of that. So
Word. Well, either way, we're looking forward to it.
I also, before we move on from college football, just wanted to say how horrible the idea was to have those games on New Year's Eve. I didn't even watch the Alabama-Michigan State game because there were no TVs where I was having dinner. And so the official stat is the ratings dropped from last year 36%, which is a huge drop.
Yeah. Now, is some of that you got to factor in, like you just alluded to, people cutting the cord?
Yeah, still, but I mean, I think most people have cable. Like a small percentage of people are cutting the cord, like myself. I think around the country, most people have cable and ESPN. But I mean,
No,
people didn't want to stay in and watch. I mean, I'm sure some people did. A lot of families did. I'm sure, but you lose a lot of viewers if you're, hey, watch this game from 8 to 11:30 on New Year's Eve.
no, you're absolutely right. I mean, Times Square, DC, Miami, all those hubs. I mean, they're starting to rage by 9 o'clock.
Yeah, exactly. And also, what threw me off was those horrible promos and commercials for those games. I didn't like those.
You clearly should have seen one of those Eric Church commercials. You would have been upset.
Yeah, I would have been because I was already upset. It was, what are you doing New Year's Eve? Like, that was awful. But
This real quick, do you feel this game has a little hint of USC versus Texas from 10 years ago?
oh, where everyone thinks Southern Cal is going to run away with it and Texas surprise them?
That
I mean, yeah, I guess so. I mean, everyone's going to be picking Alabama, so it's weird to say that a 14-0 team is going to be the underdog, but they are playing a really dominant 13-1 team. So it's weird to say that the undefeated team is going to be the underdog, but at the same time, Alabama looks really good, and Clemson looked a little shaky to start that Oklahoma game. They're not going to get. I mean, Alabama's going to bring a lot more pressure than Oklahoma did.
That's why they play the games.
Exactly.
We'll see you on Monday.
Yes, we will. Hopefully, I'll be happy on Tuesday or Wednesday when we next record. But
Yeah, I'm sure you'll get over it quickly if Clemson did pull off the upset.
yeah. All right. So what do we got for them next? We got some college b-ball.
Yeah, college b-ball. I mean, this week was kind of quiet, but there was a loud game on Monday night. For the 40th time, only the 40th time in AP history, the number 1 ranked team in the AP poll played the number 2 team in the AP poll. It was Oklahoma visiting Kansas Jayhawks, and this game was an instant classic. You had triple overtime. Buddy Hield for Oklahoma, who is a guard who is potentially up there for Player of the Year. If Ben Simmons wasn't in college, Buddy Hield would be leading it. Buddy Hield went off for 46 in a losing effort, and I think Kansas ended up holding on to that victory by 2 points. But that game was everything you want in a college basketball game. Up and down, Chris offense, not too much defense, but they were playing hard, and there was just big-time plays made on both sides. Shout out to Wayne Selden, who answered the call every time that Buddy Hield hit a three. Selden had the answer. And you got to tip your hats to Kansas. I mean, they still find a way to just keep running through the Big 12. They've won it 12 years in a row, and they're off to a good start. But Oklahoma's going to be there every time Kansas turns around.
Yeah, it's a great game. So,
shocking to me as a big Kentucky fan and to others out there, Kentucky went on the road to LSU to play the best player in the country. If you haven't seen him, please go watch him because he will probably be the NBA Rookie of the Year next year. and probably an MVP candidate in 3 years in the NBA, barring injury. Ben Simmons. In Kentucky, shut him down to 14 points on 5 field goals, and they still lost by 18 points.
Sorry, man.
Yeah, well, you ain't got to apologize to me. It sucked because Tyler Ulis and Jamal Murray were the only 2 guards to fight. But you had one of your forwards, your starting center, who's a junior, foul out with a combined 5 minutes of play, and he had 4 rebounds, 0 points. And then your other senior, Alex Poitras, he fouled out with 5 points and 4 rebounds in 27 minutes. So Ben Simmons fouled out the 2 best players to guard him on Kentucky. And he was only on the court for like 18 minutes of the game. LSU, they had some other studs.
Yeah.
But that was very disappointing to see Kentucky have no fight. And then the other big headline from college basketball this week was North Carolina. They went down to Florida State, and they got a monster game from Bryce Johnson. Kid went off for 39 points and 23 rebounds.
Jeez.
And so I know you as a Carolina fan and all the other ones out there got to be enjoying that because he is coming into his own without Kennedy Meeks being there, and Kennedy Meeks is out. And so when Kennedy comes back, it's just going to be that much more difficult for any team to guard them.
Yeah, I saw when I saw them at the College Sports Classics in Brooklyn. Yeah, he went nuts that game too, Bryce Johnson. So he's a lot of fun to watch.
I mean, he's a low budget, poor man's Kenyon Martin right now. He jumps out the gym. He plays defense when he wants to. But when he does, he's got the skills to be like dominant. But I hate North Carolina. That's all I'm going to say about that.
Fair enough. The other Carolina, South Carolina, still undefeated.
They are.
Still undefeated.
Clearly the best team in the SEC.
Yeah, they might be. They're 22 in the country, still undefeated. GW lost tonight to St. Louis. That was great.
That's a tough loss.
Yeah, they're on the road, so I guess. But
once this college football championship gets out of the way, it's time for the real sport to take over.
Yeah. Also, it's conference play, so you gotta love that.
Gotta love it.
Yeah. Anything else college basketball wise?
I got nothing, man. I got nothing. Do you want to talk about that story in the NBA with Kendall Marshall and his dad?
Yeah, we should definitely talk about that because that is great.
Can you bring people up to speed?
So, Kendall Marshall is playing for the Philadelphia 76ers.
The best team in basketball, right?
Appropriately named because they're probably going to lose 76 times.
Hi-yo!
He started the year injured. He was recovering from a surgery. I
think it's on his left masturbating hand.
Yeah, his left wrist. So he started the season out, and he's been playing, relatively well with the time he's getting. But during their last game, his dad decided that he wasn't getting enough shine. And for those of you out there, shine is playing time. He wasn't getting enough playing time because he is black.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, you had me until that part. Come again?
What? He was upset. He was calling the 76ers coach, pretty much calling him a racist for not playing him.
Wasn't he playing somebody else though? He was playing Nick Stauskas.
Yeah.
Stauskas over Kendall Marshall. Now, for the people not in the know, they play two different positions. It's not that one is black and one is white.
Right.
That's what Kendall's dad feels like. Is one is a point guard and the other is a scoring two guard. And so, Kendall, the last time we checked, you're not shooting the ball half as well as Stauskas. But I think Kendall Marshall's dad's argument was Stauskas hasn't been playing well of late, my son is ready to play, put him in the game.
Right.
Direct,
Yeah. So that was his argument, and then
I
after the
mean,
game,
he was right when he said racism is still alive, but
yeah, he's right.
racism, racism in the NBA is kind of, it probably is still alive, but I mean, this one we've got a stranglehold on, like NFL too. There's more predominantly African Americans in the league than Caucasians. Matter of fact, as of 2015, the NBA is 74.4% black, 23.3% white, 1.8% percent Latino or other, and then last but not least, my people, my homies, my Asian brethren, coming in at 0.2%.
All right, Jeremy
Yeah.
Lin.
Yo, Jeremy Lin. I think that's all I got.
That's all I got too.
Shit. I mean, I knew Jang Ling. Jang Ling used to be in there. The tall dude who used to play for the Nets. He had bounce.
Right.
But
Does Alex Len count?
no, man. Alex Len's from like Alex Len's from like Russia.
I know. That's a part of Asia.
True. But yeah, Kendall Marshall's dad is kind of like, come on, man, you're better than this. And that was the argument you were coming with?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So Kendall Marshall after the game was like, my dad doesn't speak for me. So
Any other questions?
yeah, he's like, my dad's his own man. That's not what I think. Next. So, I mean, that's really the only way you can answer it, though. And I
Yeah.
mean, I know you got to stick up for family and stick up for your father, but when he says stuff like that and you don't believe it, you got to just dismiss it or, say that's not your thoughts and move on.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. The Sixers are bad, and you want your son to be playing. But, I mean, Kendall went from 13th overall draft pick 2 years ago to playing in the D League to being injured. So there's like a lot of factors and variables that go into your son not playing on the shitty 76ers.
Right.
But at least he's in the league getting paid.
I agreed. Yeah, he's getting a paycheck. He's getting playing time. I mean, he's working his way back into, full playing shape. So.
Mm.
Oh well. Any other
Tough break,
fathers
nigga.
out there?
What's
Heckling?
that? What'd you say?
I said, any other fathers of NBA players out there heckling or causing drama?
On the same team, we were talking. There was an article about Jalil Okafor's dad talking about the coach, saying that he didn't know what he was doing. But again, that's just frustration of being on the worst team in the league.
Yeah.
Get used to it, because they ain't winning any games no time soon.
Right. Just, let your kids work their way into the game. You yelling from the stands or you tweeting stuff like that, it's not helping their cause.
At all.
Yeah. All right, we got any more basketball for them?
No, that's it, man. I mean, the Warriors are still balling, but who doesn't know that?
Right. Oh yeah, my coworker the other day was like, "Oh man, it cost $200 for like the cheapest Warriors Knicks tickets. Like the Knicks aren't good. Why is their tickets so much?" I was like, "Well, you answered your own question by saying they were playing the Warriors.
Oh, man.
Everyone wants to see the Warriors."
Yeah. Have you not heard of that beige guy, Steph Curry? People want to see him shoot from very far.
Yeah. Anyways, moving on to the best sport in our nation. The Baseball Hall of Fame votes came out today.
The one that the whites still got a stranglehold over.
Yeah, we're winning something. That and golf, we're still winning.
Yeah.
So the Baseball Hall of Fame votes came out today, and no surprise, Ken Griffey Jr. made it on the first ballot. But what is a surprise almost is how many votes he got. Now he got, out of the 440 votes cast, he was on 437 ballots. So
as a first place ballot.
They don't rank them in terms of
Okay.
first, second, third. There's just each writer gets a maximum of 10 votes.
Oh, okay. So the percentage of the vote.
Right. So, and you got to get 75% of the vote. So he came in with 99.3% of the vote, which is a record. He broke Tom Seaver's record of like 98.6, something like that.
The kid.
Yeah, and he's an obvious first ballot Hall of Famer. And it's just funny that 3 people thought he wasn't worth it for the first ballot.
3 people didn't vote for Ken Griffey Jr.?
Yeah, he got 437 out of 440.
I mean, that's absurd.
But that's the same thing that happened to Cal Ripken. It's the same thing that happened to Ricky Henderson.
Those people are they transcend their sport. Maybe not Ricky Henderson, but you know Cal Ripken if you don't watch baseball. You know who Ken Griffey Jr. is if you didn't watch baseball. The man had his own video game.
No, I agree with you. Cal Ripken was the same. It was like 98.4% or something like that. And Pedro Martinez, same thing. Greg Maddux, Randy Johnson, they're all in like 97, 98, but they didn't get the full.
Those guys, great, obviously Hall of Famers. But Ken Griffey Jr., Steven. I mean, Ken Griffey Jr. not only had his own video game, he had his own Nike sneaker that rivaled for a little bit, maybe not at the same level, the dominance that Michael Jordan had in the shoe game.
Oh no, I agree with you. He should have given 100%.
Those Griffies were slick.
I'm just saying, there are people. That's how like stupid the Hall of Fame voting is. That there were 3 people out there that was like, well, he doesn't deserve the first ballot Hall of Fame because they're idiots. Because like no one's been unanimous, so why should he? You know? Maybe Mike Trout will finally be the first one who's like 100% on the first ballot. But
yeah, but he's got to stay on this tour thing that this heater he's on.
Yeah.
And like, you think he's hit where? I mean, I know he had like years on like advanced analytics that have never been done. His WAR was something. Steven, please tell the people what WAR means.
WAR is wins above replacement. It basically means how many wins you yourself have earned your team versus a replacement player. So basically, Trout and Harper this year were like, I think Harper had like 9.9 and Trout was a little below him. So basically, Harper himself caused the Nats to win 10 games on his own, which is absurd.
Yeah, and if you think about this, I know the Mariners had like a tough break. They could never get out of the that wild card. They made the playoffs a couple times when A-Rod was on the team.
Yeah, they made the playoffs. They had a good squad.
They had a good squad, but they couldn't get to the World Series. You may think about Randy Johnson, but you definitely think Ken Griffey Jr. when you think about them. And his WAR had to be at minimum 8, maybe mid 9.
Yeah, during his years he was up there. I don't have his numbers in front of me, but he was great because he was a great defensive player as well as a tremendous hitter. So he had it all. He played the toughest, maybe the second toughest defensive position in center field, and he hit. He's hitting 40 home runs a year easy. So, I mean, he was great, and he's definitely first ballot Hall of Fame. But, and this is why I'll always say the Hall of Fame is a joke, the man with almost twice as much WAR as Ken Griffey, and this is not the fault of Griffey because he was hurt a little bit in his career, Barry Bonds has the second highest career WAR next to Babe Ruth. Still only got like 50% of the vote.
But he did drugs, Steven.
It doesn't matter. Do you see what he did? I mean, he was just dominant.
Remember, man, people are on their high horses when they are not being, scrutinized. Yeah. So Barry Bonds doing HGH allegedly. That's good enough for them. They're like, no, he can't be in our clubhouse because he cheated. Forget about him being a 3-time MVP before he even left Pittsburgh to go to San Francisco. Don't think about that, because on that alone, he's a Hall of Famer.
No, he was twice in Pittsburgh, and then he got one in San Fran before they say all the doping allegations occurred.
Sorry, 2 times.
But no, you're right. Still, 3-time MVP. He had, before the doping allegations occurred, like 480 home runs. He was already in the Hall of Fame pretty much. So.
And well, congratulations, Mike Piazza. We didn't get to talk about you.
Piazza's in as well.
Mike. I I love
Definitely
Mike.
well deserved. He's probably the best offensive. He might be the best offensive catcher of all time.
Word.
First in home runs, that's for sure. Very high batting average. I think 308 career batting average. So
He's also number one in uh, shattered bats being tossed at your feet.
yeah, that was ridiculous. Another guy who should be in the Hall of Fame, even though he's a monstrous dickhead, Roger Clemens.
Douchebag Clemens.
Yeah, douchebag Clemens. I mean, I hate the dude, but he belongs in the Hall of Fame. Yeah, that. I mean, I
Oh,
wanted Piazza to charge him and beat the crap out of him.
that would have
And
been great.
yeah, but no, Piazza definitely deserved it, and he should have been a first ballot Hall of Famer.
Were they the
But
only two to get in?
they were the only two this year to get in. Yeah.
Is Biggio still on? He's still on it.
No, Biggio got in last year.
Okay, got it. All right.
Yeah. So the knockout, Biggio had to wait 2 years. He had to wait longer than a year. He had to wait 2 years to get in.
Gotcha.
Which was ridiculous. Like Biggio got in last year. Pedro and Randy Johnson and I think Smoltz. So they had a decent sized class last year. 2 years ago it was my boy the Big Hurt, Glavine, and Maddox. They all got in first ballot. But yeah, it just goes back. Piazza should have been first ballot, but for some reason last year he didn't get the 75%. And this year, the guys closest were Bagwell. I think got 71% of the vote. He's been on a few years. He should be in. Tim Raines should be in as well. He got I think 69% of the vote. And Trevor Hoffman, first year on the ballot, great closer. Got
He had a
67.
strong goatee too.
Yeah, he got 67%. So, when you get 67% your first time, you're pretty much in the next year or two.
Mm. Well, let's hope somehow, some way, justice is served.
Right.
Ken Griffey, with Barry Bonds and Clemens.
Right. So I think there was a drop in the total number of votes this year. There was like something over 500 votes a couple years ago, and now there's only 440. So a lot of people are hoping that the old guys removed from the game for so long, the blowhards, are fading away, and these guys that even if they had some HGH allegations or used, will get their due and get in.
Ain't that America? We just waiting for people to die so somebody else could benefit.
Hey, that's how they did in the Middle Ages, man. You just have to wait for that person to die before
Hey,
you
man.
use power.
I was just wait this shit out, man.
Yeah. Nah, I'm good. I'm just gonna wait. Don't you want to campaign? Nah, they'll be dead in a year. I'm good.
I'll be alright.
But yeah, that's so now we won't talk about baseball again for another couple months. But congrats to Griffey and Piazza. We know you guys are big fans of our show.
Can't wait to have you on.
Yeah, and talk about Ken Griffey's gigantism. That would be great. But anyways, we're gonna move on to our.
We saved the best for last.
We definitely saved the best for last. This is my favorite story. It's our only non-sports story of the night, but it's by far the best one. In case you've been in a cave, a group of armed...
Don't be offensive, Steven. Some people do live in caves.
I know. Sorry. I think these guys mainly live in caves. But a group of armed... I won't even say protesters, because protesters is not the right word for these guys. A group of an armed militia has taken over one of the weakest federal buildings of all time in Oregon. It's next to a National Wildlife Preservation Forest, and they're taking over this basically what some people have classified as a glorified rest stop. They've taken it over because two ranchers in, I think it was Arizona, these guys were arrested in. The Hammond father and son combination. They were arrested for starting a wildfire in 2001. Now, the Hammonds, when they started this fire back then, claimed they were doing it to get rid of harmful wildlife around their land, but what the prosecution argued and what the jurors found was that they started the fire to cover up illegal poaching of deer on federal land. So they weren't getting rid of bad plant life. They were covering up illegal poaching and hunting. So they're off to their mandatory sentence of 5 years. They turned themselves in Monday, I think. They turned themselves in Monday, and these armed protesters, led by Eamon Bundy, whose dad is a well-known
Five.
militiaman and racist. He's leading
Yeah.
this.
Don't leave
He's
that one
leading.
out.
Yeah, he's leading this group in Oregon, and he said, we're armed. We don't want violence, but we're ready to use force if we have to. But for some reason, they're not terrorists.
Yeah.
Not at
Let
all.
me just like, even when you were giving the recap of the story, and I know that you are not playing bias or taking their side or anything like that. You were reading what the news was giving you, but you couldn't even come around to label them as anything other than the militia and stuff like that. And it's pretty obvious that the narrative when it comes to, one side of the race card is completely different than the other. Like a group of any armed men would be considered, like taking over a federal building would be considered terrorists. I mean, it's like the plot of a movie. Like, isn't that what happened in Die Hard?
Yeah, well, at least the terrorists in Die Hard were really cool, because they were all German and stuff, and they had the guy Trevette from Walker Texas Ranger, the black guy. He was one of the terrorists too, so they were at least diverse. Um,
That's right.
but yeah, it's ridiculous. These guys, and the best part about one of my favorite parts about the story is the Hammond father-son family. They were like, they don't represent us. We don't sanction what they're doing. We don't condone what they're doing. We don't think it's right what they're doing. Like, we're gonna serve our time. What are they doing? Pretty much, like their lawyer was like, they don't speak for us. So
Yeah.
what do you they just waited for an excuse to do it, I think.
They just want. I mean, look, dude. You ever have like a shiny toy that you had to wait for it to be perfect weather outside? Like if it was raining and you had to want to ride your bike.
Yeah.
These guys have these nice premium guns, shotguns, rifles that they have not been able to use because of the illegal poaching that they were already doing. So it's like they're already targets, and now they just want an excuse to use those guns, or at least hold them closely to them, not to be fired because they're not angry. They're not, nobody's gonna get hurt with their guns. But if anybody else was to have a gun, it's shoot on sight.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, oh, we're prepared. That's great.
Yeah, you're prepared. I mean, if anybody else would have fucking stormed this thing, they would be dead, or
Yeah.
there would have been shots fired.
Yeah, people would have been up in arms and be like, oh my God, those terrorists.
You don't. I mean, like to be a terrorist, you don't have to be brown or black or not white. Like you can be a terrorist or somebody antagonizing with the potential for lethal force if you're, non-minority. And I just think it's really interesting the way the double standard is playing out right now.
Oh
Hopefully
yeah.
this thing gets resolved like peacefully, but I don't know. I don't know if I'm not rooting for anybody to die. I'm just
Right.
rooting for something, you know, to
I'm rooting
come
for
of it.
jail time. That's what I'm
Yeah.
rooting for. So a few highlights of the story. Um, one of the women, I lost her name, but a quote from her was,
Peggy
I,
Sue.
yeah, I don't know where they get off thinking the land doesn't belong to those who originally had it. Well, excuse me, white lady, I believe you're talking about the Native Americans or Indians that originally had the land
Yeah,
before
yeah,
you.
yeah. Yeah. But that was different.
Yeah. Another thing, they call themselves the Citizens for Constitutional Freedom. That's a good one. Um, Another one is one of their guys, I guess one of their main players in the protest or seizing of the building, um, recorded a selfie video of himself in the car explaining to his kids why he was missing Christmas and New Year's, and it was
What?
Daddy swore an oath. That's what he was saying. That's how he started it. He's like, Daddy swore an oath, because I guess he's a former Marine. He's like, to defend this country against enemies, both foreign and domestic. And he
What
really
is going on in America?
he really emphasized domestic. What he didn't realize though, he was talking about himself when he was talking about enemies, both foreign and domestic.
Yeah, but
So,
he's gonna be able to frame that story to his children as he was the victim, and that's how stuff gets perpetuated through time. It's so great. I love oral tradition, man.
yeah, I
Those
mean,
kids are gonna be great. They're gonna be like, my paw fought for my freedom. You were already free, my man.
yeah, and his pa is gonna be telling that story for a few years, probably from a
Uh,
prison visiting
from
them.
a halfway house in
Yeah,
Oregon, where he can probably smoke all the weed he wants and eat good food. Because the Pacific Northwest, let me tell you, they know how to cook.
yeah. He'll be telling that story with some type of ankle monitor on himself. So
That's true. But then his homie will have the key to the ankle monitor, so he'll just take it off.
yeah. Well, anyways, hoping it ends peacefully. Hopefully nobody dies. But
Don't kill anybody,
yeah.
please.
Also, they've run out of food. They did not prepare very well.
What?
Yeah, they've run out of food and they're asking people for support and snacks. And guess how they want people to send the food?
Via PayPal.
They want people to send it through the United States Postal Service, which
Oh
is
my.
another government entity.
Well, it's okay, man.
Yeah,
I love it. People are so guys. We suck. Everybody sucks. Stop doing dumb stuff.
I agree.
Oh my gosh. Okay, real quick. What do you think is going to be? Because you know somebody's sending them snacks. What is going to be the main thing they get?
Freedom fries.
Freedom fries? Is that your final answer?
No, they're gonna get like canned soup or something like that. That's
I'm
probably
going
the most
beef
logical.
jerky.
Yeah, beef jerky is actually a really great answer.
Yeah, beef jerky for sure.
All right, let's you got anything else to say on that topic? Because I'm all out. I'm flabbergasted.
I got nothing.
All right, Kev, man, give us a song for us to jam to for the week.
I got nothing. I actually haven't heard any new music in a while. By a while, I mean since the last time we recorded. So we're just gonna stay with Pusha T.
All right,
And
yeah,
with Pusha T, we're gonna go MPA. The acronym stands for Money, Pussy, Alcohol,
that's a good song.
and that song is, if it wasn't so crass, would probably be a radio single, and the world would be enjoying it. So people out there listening, get your iPads, or your iPods, Spotify, Beats by Dre, Apple Music. Go find MPA, Money, Pussy, Alcohol. Yeah,
Do people still have iPods?
they better.
Yeah.
They just
Uh,
came out.
no, iPods are old as hell, man.
What?
Um,
I got an iPod. What is it? Shuffle?
yeah, it's probably from like
Not a
2006.
not a shuffle. The other one. I got bigger than a Nano. What is that?
I don't know, mini.
Yeah, whatever.
Anyway,
What about you?
um,
What are we watching? What's a
we're
watch for,
watching.
Steven?
We're watching. I haven't seen any movies since Star Wars. I've seen that twice. Great movie. But the show I'm gonna recommend is The Grinder. That's with I think it's got some Golden Globe nominations
On
uh,
Fox?
on Fox, man.
Oh my gosh!
The Grinder.
I need a new host. This is getting out of co-host. This is getting out of control.
This is Rob Lowe, man, at his finest. You know how great he was on Parks and Rec.
I don't know, man. You on your
So
own on this one, brother.
yeah, I know. I'm saying Grinder. I'm telling you, it's a funny show. Fred Savage is great in it.
What's the grinder about?
The Grinder is Rob Lowe played a lawyer in a hit TV show for like 9, 10 years. He decides he wants to like go into real law though. So he moves back to Boise, Idaho, into his brother's house, Fred Savage, who is a real lawyer, but works on like small cases, like people who can barely afford anything outside of a public defender. So he's like in small claims court. He's working like hit and runs, insurance scams, stuff like that. And it's great because Rob Lowe thinks there's some big like conspiracy to every case, but it's Fred Savage is the straight man. Rob Lowe is off his rocker, and it's great.
All right, The Grinder.
The Grinder, yep.
Go check it out, people. Steven doesn't have the worst taste in TV. We kind of share the similar taste, so. But I'm not co-signing that at all.
That's fine. That's fine. You don't have to co-sign.
I've seen your credit. You need a co-signer.
That's messed up, man.
What a great joke.
Anyways, I think that's all we got for you people tonight for the fresh start of 2016. Thank you all for listening. Be sure to follow us on Facebook on our page, PandaWatch Podcast. We also have on our stuff is all on Churbit.com. That means you can download our audio files and listen to them in the car.
You're gonna have to spell that one for the people.
Yeah, I know, because everyone's like, "What are you on iTunes?" Like, oh.
Yeah.
So we're
trending towards
iTunes.
We're getting there.
Yeah.
Baby steps. Can't skip steps, people. Can't skip steps.
But until then, keep looking for our stuff on YouTube and our Facebook page. We'll keep posting. And if you like it, share it around with your friends. Great icebreaker. Hey, my two stupid friends have a podcast. Listen to them.
It's pretty great.
Yeah. It's pretty cool.
Shout out to my man, Lighty, for coming on. Appreciate that. Go check out the instrumental. Go check out House of Syntax, all that good stuff. PandaWatch.
PandaWatch. And until next time, peace, love, and
chocolates.